Start the record. Go.
What channel am I on actually at the moment?
You are on it's properties.
Blah 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 blah.
Are on.
I don't know.
P.
You'll have to go and look at the.
Hang on. Oh, you aren't even on a channel. I'll put you on 4. Okay, there you go. So you were on the channel 1, but you're separated on channel 4. Cool. Go.
How's this? I just got to a point with flies.
Mm.
There was a fly had come and it just landed on my desk.
Mm.
And then I saw it there.
Said the magic words.
Yeah, I said, well, I thought to myself, well, I thought to the fly, I was like, yeah, you want to go outside, eh? And then I just reached over with my fingers like this and just grabbed the fly.
Mm.
Not hard, and it buzzed.
Mm.
And I just took it over to the window and opened it up and just flew out. Like it let me actually pick it up.
Mm. Adjustments.
I think that's the first time I've ever had that kind of like peacefulness with the fly. I've been working on flies for a while now.
Hello, man.
Flies are people too.
Hmm.
They don't get enough respect. Or no, not even respect, just acknowledgement. You know? It's a fucking fly, just, what are you supposed to fly know? Fly is life. It has all the faculties. It knows what it wants.
Mm.
It's that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Flies know what they want, just the same as you do. They got preferences, things, Not all flies like the same stuff.
That's it.
They're very determined. Like a fly, that's one thing about a fly. Once it gets its mind about like its desire, it knows what it wants, then it's quite persistent.
Season 3.
This is season 3. It's kind of timely, isn't it?
Mm.
Season 3, episode 1.
Yeah. Broadcast. Paste.
It's kind of interesting that the cheapness works in like 13 episode things. So there's like, it actually works in an annual cycle. So it'll be this Saturday every year, as it were.
Mm.
Oh, jeez. That's some crazy ass shit going down there. Oh.
Entertainment, wasn't it? Not for kids. I dumped in a Talk is Cheap additional icons to the media.
Ah, nice. More cheap.
Mm.
Infinity cheap.
Any cheap. Cheap that continues forever. The never-ending cheapness.
It's so cheap. It's eternal.
Mm.
Because it's easier that way.
Eternal.
3 a.m.
3 a.m. 3 a.m.
Eternal. Hey, do you remember like reminisce?
Reminiscing.
Yeah, do you remember you and me in Sydney
Driving
during
back.
the driving back, but prior to the driving back,
Mm.
this we went to this Western Sydney, I feel like it was in, I don't know, it was somewhere weird. We went to this pub and they had like, it was like, they had a dance, it was like a disco-y thing in a pub.
Mm.
And then we're there in Sydney, just in this random pub, and then they started playing like Trance Central.
Yeah.
And then we just went
Just
off.
going crazy for the KLFing.
I
Yeah.
just remembered it's just like, gosh, some
Just
place, who
prior to
knows
the
where.
burning of the the million quid.
Mm, mm, mm. That was a fairly trippy, that was a trippy trip, that trip. A lot happened, eh?
Mm. I shall pick up the check.
Pick up the
Grand,
check.
Grandpa's demise.
Yep, the demise check.
Demise check.
Well, 90 grand of the demise check went to the solicitors,
Yeah. In
but
in
10
this in
grand.
this in the glorious rapings of the solicitorings.
Yes. Well, anyway.
Solicitations of the solicitors.
Well, I wonder what I would have done. I probably would have thought to buy a house, and
Mm.
we could have done that. Imagine that
Could
we
have
could have,
plonked down a decent deposit and pretty much had it paid off by now.
yeah. Well, 100 grand. No, no, no,
Mm.
no, no. Like in 1991, 100 grand in
Was a
Brisbane.
fair chunk of money. That's it.
I would have I would have been buying a house in like Ashgrove for 180,
Mm.
or like or Paddington like
Mm.
180.
That's it. Sitting on a $1 million property by now.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Ah, the things we could have done. That's the
This is the
in
alt
the
states.
reminiscings of the opportunities lost. Yeah.
Well, that was an opportunity learned at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it wasn't lost on me that the fucking solicitors and how the people fought, and I really like, I don't know. Dan knows,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
I took the role seriously when it was my turn,
Mm. Mm.
and I made sure that it didn't cost the estate
A
because there
fortune.
was many attempts for it to
Oh
cost the
yeah, yeah.
estate,
With the
and
old
I minimized the
I've been
cost to the
mowing the
estate.
lawns and doing this and
Oh,
doing that,
and
maintaining.
and the legal costs associated with responding and staving off the actual having to go to court bits,
Oh
because
yeah,
that would have like,
yeah.
because there was like
Mm.
2 or 3 instances of going to
Well,
court, and
I
I just
think
was like,
old
no
man,
fucking way,
old
man.
man Donkey Dick,
Mm,
he would have quite happily just watched it all disappear because he had his money. You know, he already
yeah.
had the nice house and had everything. Really, he would have been happy just for everyone to get nothing. You know?
He may have, yeah. I mean, I hear that, but like,
Mm.
mm, that would have meant his daughter didn't get anything.
Mm. Yeah,
So,
that's exactly right. And he would have been cutting her out, if
mm,
anything.
yeah, just got to do a little thing here.
Mm.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
But yes, those days of the arguments over the who did the most, who deserves the most,
The deservings.
the deservings of the most. You know, we do realize that you looked after our son for, all these years and
I
put
was thinking about the
yourself
other
out.
day.
You put yourself out to be, the carer.
How is the
Put your fucking self out.
how many Just gonna pull these blinds down so I can get some. Visibility. What was the
It was amazing how that, all that money just disappeared when I got it.
mm, mm, mm,
You know, cars and this, that, and the other, and
rubbish.
sending certain people to,
Mm,
visit relatives in
mm,
England and
mm.
dropping shit tons of cash on people.
Yep. But we talked that through, hey, and like I had guilt and regret, and then I realized also that that was the nature of the money.
Mm, mm, mm. People don't really give a fuck as long as they get the money.
No, I mean, but even so, even with Dan, like that the the bath, like he well, we did, we created stabilization. Like, I don't know. Like I hear, like a big chunk of mine went towards um going to America,
Mm,
seeing the parents and
meeting the family.
doing the
Yep.
things. Yeah, same story, man. Like this is my own version of the same stuff.
Mm, mm,
Paying for like fees,
yeah.
doing the stuff.
And then having the demanding to pay the college debt out,
Oh yeah, but
just
that didn't for
which was
me. No, I didn't.
just went,
No, I
nah,
didn't.
that's not my, it's not my problem. It's
Yeah, and
that,
then and also they
you
came to the
decided to
place.
do the advanced diploma in fucking basket weaving. It wasn't me, you know.
But they also concluded to themselves that they wanted to pay it off.
Oh,
And I yeah, that
that's
thankfully
good.
they
That's good.
well that's why I love that person, because that
Mm,
person
took that responsibility.
not just that, like continually, like has the capacity to actually see themselves and fucking grow and actually change.
Mm,
Oh my gosh, the capacity for
the
change.
capacity for change, the capacity to want to grow.
The want to grow, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Mm,
capacity to take life into their own hands rather
mm,
than relying on others,
mm.
you know?
So so they still have my winning card, like unfortunately or fortunately as the case may be up for me, I don't know. But like seriously, you don't there's not enough people who do that.
Mm, mm. Well, it is easier if someone else does it for you, isn't it?
Oh.
It's always easier if someone else gets to do it.
It is, however, as I was walking over to see the youngling this morning to
Mm,
go for our 13K walk, this really nice white Porsche with no top on, so some kind of boxed,
oh, the
what do they call
boxer.
it, boxes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
modern,
Mm,
very flash looking, is up at the corner, and then the dude
don't
like
mind the new Porsches. They're pretty cool.
Mars around the corner, like
Oh,
not
yeah,
just like
yeah.
just doesn't
Making the
do it really well.
noises.
Well, doesn't know how to drive the vehicle well.
Mm,
That's what I would say.
over revving.
Yeah, missing the gear changes, definitely. And the girl on the side there, I thought to myself, you know, he's got. I wanted to just yell out. He's got a nice car, but your mouth is worth more. And instead of saying that, I just started laughing.
Yeah,
I just thought I was sort of not
it's
quite
like your
pointing, but
own
kind
thought
of
and
gesturing,
giving you the
and just pointed over
internal
the car and just
amusement where you
laughed.
realize
Yeah,
that you didn't have to
like,
vocalize that. I'm pretty sure she
no,
probably already realized it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah. So it was more the
mm,
laughter that was the best response.
mhm.
Mm,
So that she like knew that it was
yeah,
known.
yeah,
Mm, that was all that needed to be said.
yeah. Simply the laughter was
Yeah.
the statement in
Hopefully,
itself.
hopefully that saves her.
Yeah, well, maybe
Yeah,
she'll
yeah.
go on to redeem herself.
Yeah, that's a nice way of saying it. I
Hmm.
like redemption.
Yeah.
Redemption arcs are good. Oh man, I'm just sorry. The realism of the shadows
Hmm.
in that's it's just I feel so dimensional.
You're definitely three dimensional because you've got that massive shadow going on your arms and that. I mean, I should switch across to Avatar. The
You're not in
and
AVAKIT.
I'm not in
Yeah.
AVAKIT. I'm in the
Mm.
Magic
But
Mirror,
it get,
so that I can continue to do
yeah,
my
yeah.
wanderings, and it's the characters animated.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
it's two different methods. It's just
yeah,
how it
yeah.
is. I'm blurry, and you're this. Look who's behind us.
Krampus, the twin Krampus,
Look,
part of the
Just trying-
13 Krampuses.
Mm.
13 Krampuses of joy. I love how the special cat, eats the evildoers. That was the best part about that little video you sent me with the special Krampus family of Krampus.
What did I send you?
Didn't you send
Which
me that?
video? Which
The
video?
one where it had is it the Swedish or the
Mm. Oh, what was that?
certain nation of the world where they had the 13 Krampuses,
Oh, yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah.
13 sons, which were the Krampuses.
Mm.
They had the mummy and the daddy Krampus. And the evil thing that was in it was the giant cat that would eat the children.
Oh,
Remember?
that was beast-like. That was fucking.
Mm.
I loved it, man. It was wild.
It sort of gave me a bit of a, like, it made me think, like, the whole because I watched the Marvels, Ms. Marvel, and I liked the cats with the octopus mouths, like the octopus tentacles that come out of the mouths and swallow
Mm.
people. I thought that
That's
was.
our arms. Our arms are actually
I really
tentacles.
enjoyed the
They're articulated
that little cat. I'll have to cast a spell on
to feed into the
on
mouth. They're the extension of the
Bear,
mouth.
so he gets the
Whoa.
octopus mouth. Upgrade him. I'll give him an octopus upgrade.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Octocat.
Swallow down the evil.
Swallow down the evil.
Swallow the evil.
Yeah, so
Quite impressed with the AI's generation of the Krampus. It was
well, it took some effort, eh?
To get it right. I
Well,
like how
what we learned was it
Krampus on
just
your
didn't.
side's got the big red pipe going on.
Yeah, I got the pipe going there. Look at that.
And I got the
It's
beers
piping
on my
hard.
side. He's got
With
the
you.
lagers.
Mm.
And extremely evil smile, like the teeth, the multi sets of the multi rows of teeth.
Oh, the
bit.
multi rows of teeth.
Mm.
It's so Krampusy. It's fantastic.
Ultimate Krampus, and the red nose. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer Krampus.
Look at them, like, oh, whoa.
Oh. Let the evil of the Krampus remind you that got to be a good person, or get the Krampus deliveries. I think that's the real take on the whole story, isn't it?
Krampus deliveries.
Yeah. Nasty bedtime stories for evil children. Knoweth what awaits thee, thy is evil. If thee is evil.
Be not.
Mm.
Whoa. Trippy.
Or suffer the consequences of the date with Krampus.
Krampuscus.
Krampuscus.
The Krampuses as they come at you. Each one having its way.
Yep. Each
The
more
floggings.
evil than the one before.
That's it. And it depends. It depends on how and on the level of your thing. Like how was that how it would roll? I mean, like do you get like
Yeah, like
One
if you were just a
Krampus, like
little
if
bit naughty,
yeah,
then,
yeah.
well, could let that slide because,
Hmm.
you get to be a little bit naughty.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Hmm. I have to give you that.
Yeah,
But, if you obviously go past the level of evil,
yeah.
then
Well,
each stage of the 13 Krampuses gets more and more
till it's just you're being
till
flayed.
you hand it over to the cat and completely
It just that's
consumed by the
okay.
cat. Cat just
Yeah,
like, nah,
yeah,
too
yeah,
evil.
yeah, yeah. The
You're out of here.
remnants.
Crunch on your
Yeah.
bones. Crunch your bones.
It's
Be
like
five full fum.
the chidlers.
In thy belly you will come.
A chidler. Chidler, I eat you. That's it. Krampus mode.
Something like encouraging words to keep the children and the
That's it.
adults
Be good.
honest. Be
Be
good,
still, cat. Be
or
still.
else
Be
suffer the
still, cat.
punishment of
Be
the
still.
Krampusings. Special Krampus noise.
Wow, I was thinking of still cat noises.
But yes, what a week it's been. Finishing up.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
Um,
2 weeks holiday now. Head down the
do
coast to
the
catch up with the rest of the fam.
do the
Um,
turtles live in fear?
turtles are always in fear.
Well, there's that.
Mm.
So,
It's the reason why the turtles devote so much money to their efforts
mm,
to try and make enough money for Christmas.
well,
But
that's what you do.
unwise
Double down,
investments.
double down on the investments.
Mm. Always investing in the unwise investments. But I had my week. I had my week in the workshop
The
this week. It was
Moglai, the Moglai,
interesting finding
the
out that
Mogul.
it was probably a good thing that I didn't go to the Christmas party this year because there was some tippity tippity tap tap going on and
Tippity tap,
tippity
tippity
tappity
tap.
tappity tap.
Gotta tap it. Had to tap it.
Someone was tippity tapping
Starting to tap
and
and
someone took major offence. So it
tapping.
was nice not being the receiver of the
The tapping.
yeah, perhaps.
Maybe you would have been like.
See, I'm not that sort of person. I wouldn't dob you into the boss if you were tippity tappeting me. I'd just break your fucking fingers.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. You would know immediately that you'd crossed the line
That's it.
in the tippity tappeting. It would be broken fingers and
Mm.
Ryuke uppercut.
Oh, the whole situation.
Mm. So yeah, apparently it's
Edumacated.
re-edumacated. It's it in the traditional IBM punching the information in twice, not
Like,
once, but
wasn't
twice.
quite
When it
just
doesn't
this
go
time.
in properly, second time punching is a little harder just to make sure the information goes in.
Depth cameras. It's
Much
not
ripping,
bad.
much ripping. Oh, you got wet. What are you doing out in the rain, doofus? Hmm?
Oh, the doofusing. Doofuscus. The caddis. How is the bear?
Yeah, good, good. He's getting adjusted to eating outside.
Oh yeah.
It's helping with the dissipation of the meat flies gathering within the home.
Yeah, that seems unnecessary. You don't
Mm,
want that.
mm. Ah, but for the second time, maggots.
What?
Bins not removed and maggots appearing. Second time.
Wow. You
Mm.
know what?
And you know, the young one thinking it
You
was
know what?
amusing. The
You know.
maggots turn up,
Well, it is.
you know.
It's interesting. But did the
Doesn't
young
want
one,
doesn't
did
want
the
to
youngling,
contribute in taking
did
the
the
bin
youngling
out.
deal with the
No,
maggots?
no, of course not.
Did
I
you
have to
apply the
deal with it.
maggots to them to the youngling?
Think the youngling's going to deal with maggots? Of course not.
Did you just give the maggots to the youngling? What would happen? Did you just hand them over? Here, have this. Just have
Well,
one.
I could have just left it there and let the maggots really reproduce and then just been crawling the floors
Mm.
like old Dano's place. Remember that? Tripping on acid, floor covered with maggots and trying to clean them up.
Oh,
That was an experience in itself.
memories.
Memories.
Oh,
Same
the
sort of
maggots.
principle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Danny's bro being an absolute
Yeah.
lazy fuck
Mm.
and not removing the rubbish in appropriate time, and then the maggots all over the floor. Me cleaning it up, tripping my balls off, cleaning up fucking maggots.
Don't like doing that. You could get conversational with them once you
Mm,
become sort of
mm.
advanced level tripper, But certainly early tripping stages, that's like probably a lot of work. You just have to really have to try and deal with that. Yeah, that was bold. I am. Hmm.
Oh, tippity tappity from the cat.
Oh,
He's like,
it's the yeah.
pat me, father, pat me.
Ah.
Just
And
come
then you
in,
just
give me
give
the
it like the.
affection, give me
Do you
the
know what
affection for
I
five
found with
minutes.
nails? Like
Hmm.
having nails is like a animals really appreciate they
Oh,
because they
the
have
digging
nails.
in the get through the fur.
Well, yeah, it's a
Because there's a
particular
difference between
level of a type.
stroking the fur and then actually getting underneath the fur and doing
Yeah.
the digging, isn't
And
there?
nails, if you
Mm,
do it with your fingers, they kind of go, well, what are you doing? But if you
mm,
do it with
mm.
your nails,
So
then they're
like,
just
ooh,
like, oh,
ooh,
I see.
mm,
Yeah. And you're just like, shh, you
special
just take
depth,
control of the beast.
mm, depth in the special scratchings.
Scratchings. Animals understand the scratchings.
Mm. But I saw a video where they were using like a steam to gather the furs off the animals.
I
This
saw it
little
too. Oh, man,
steam thing.
yeah, a little with the brush
Yeah,
thing.
the brush.
Yeah, if you see it, I want the link, man. I think
Mm.
I want to get one.
Get one of them.
Mm.
Basically pulled out a whole cat
Mm.
in fur. At least a whole cat in
Well, that's it.
fur
Hey, that's what they have.
with the
They have.
steamings.
Totally, man. It's
Mm.
it's real. It's not.
Mm.
That's how much fur they have, and you just want to get that shit out. Just pull it all out.
Make a blanket out of it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Felting, auto felter.
felting it all together and getting the little auto felter to make the cotton or the wool out of all the fur and then make a little cat blanket.
Cat blanket. Wow.
So getting more friends this season 3, inviting of more friends to Oi, nails.
Yeah. Look, we'll see how we
What?
go. I mean, we still haven't managed to
More
get like.
padding.
If we can,
Why
that'd be
is
cool.
it that as soon as I start to stream, there's a requirement for this? Why is it?
Because it's you're learning about the third.
Hmm? Why is it as soon as I stream, Cat wants to get involved? It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. Huh.
I try to do a bit of advertising on the other YouTube people that I subscribe to today. Just, getting the word out there for the cheapenings. Fresh and fit advertising.
You're doing some fresh and fit advertising for the
Yeah,
cheap.
just fully cheaping in the fresh and fit stream.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, in the chat, of course. I can't
course,
get into the stream itself and chat with the boys.
I don't even know what it is, but
Oh, Fresh and Fit's this program in
that's
California where they
Oh
got the
no,
two
it's still
guys. One guy's an ex
ridiculous. It's
FBI or
insulting.
DEA guy. He used to work in rescuing children from the
But now they just choose chicks that look hot
Yeah, they pick all these, girls, and they've got the
from the
304
kind of
program
clubs.
going on where they interview them and talk about how they're ruining their lives doing the OF and stuff, and being 304s and stuff.
And trying to like redeem them.
Trying to redeem them, yeah. Get them
That
back from
sounds
their
terrible.
evil ways.
So they're
But at the same
using.
time, making a fortune,
Yeah.
making quite a bit of bank because they, 16,000 people on their live streams and stuff,
Watching them do.
watching them, abuse
the side TV. Yeah, it's from
abuse these poor women and
and you want those people to come here and watch us?
not them, not the content creators, but maybe their subs. I don't know. Maybe they might be interested in the cheapenings. Who knows these days, I mean, you come across as a cheap, talk is cheap. You're not going to see boobs. We're not going to, we don't have boobs going on unless it's one of my waifus that might make a special appearance. But other than that, they're the only boobs you're going to see.
No, but you see, I think the thing is that the current phenomena that's undergoing
in the manosphere.
No, just everywhere. Manosphere.
Using all those keywords, Special hello out there to the ABC groups that might be tuned in the background, watching and gleaning from our cheapenings. A big hello to you and your family, and wishing you the best.
ABC groups.
Yeah. CIA, FBI, DEA.
No one is watching. Like, look, the automated algorithms would. Do you really believe
that someone's sitting at a little desk and
watching us?
Well, stranger things have happened, Si. They get to know people. Get to know people intimately. I doubt that we would even be on the radar of the.
I'm just checking in with you, man.
Yeah,
I don't.
Just checking. What are you getting so feisty for? You want to go out? You want to get kicked out?
You're being attacked. See, that's why you're worried about the CIA, because you're currently being attacked. You think that the cat is actually an agent?
Yeah, it's just like birds. Birds aren't real. Birds aren't real. I told you about that, didn't I? The group that believe that birds aren't real.
Yeah, totally.
They don't even believe Australia's real. They think it's a studio. They think we live in a studio. Australia's just That's why I call it the Down Under Studios now. Whenever they say Australia isn't real, I say, yeah, live and direct from the Down Under Studios.
Why do you hang out in those spaces? I look. I know you talk about research, but what do you gain from it? Do you feel? Are you in there to try and rescue people from their own madness?
What am I going to rescue them from?
Why?
Conspiracy theory.
What are you? What do you
You don't rescue people from conspiracy theories.
do you
Oh,
feel?
sorry,
Do
you
you
don't.
find?
You
But do
never.
you find like safety there? Like, is it or that? Like, is it like because it's sort of like I don't know. Like,
I
what's
think
the?
it's amusing more than anything. Like
Okay, okay.
it's
I'm just
just a
trying to
stupid.
understand, mate. I'm
How
trying to
stupid it
understand.
is what I find
Okay,
amusing. It's the
right. So
only
you're
reason I
just a
listen to it because
spectator.
it's just
You're
so
like
dumb.
popcorning. You're just
Just
fucking
so
popcorning.
yeah, yeah. Popcorn and fucking beer, mate. Listen to the crap.
Well, we don't want those people here.
You don't want those people coming across. No.
No, your humor about them, like,
Mm,
is interesting,
yeah.
but the and
Oh, I find it
observation,
extremely humorous listening to the
but
content, you know.
actually having them here, because what would
How
happen is
angry
they would.
those men are about these feminists and stuff, you know.
Oh,
Feminists taking over the world.
right. So that's a big topic. I mean, I have like I have like
And the inequities that are involved in the red pilling. That's the amusing thing. The whole,
oh, so they're into the inequities, aren't they?
yeah, yeah,
That's
you
the
know,
whole thing.
calling
Well,
out
but
the simps. Stop simping. Stop being a simp. Stop providing for
stop
these.
worshipping the goddess.
Yeah, essentially. That's
Oh.
that's what they're teaching you.
Oh. See, this is the thing, right? Like, the more I observe like content about what alpha male means,
Mm,
the more I just think that just means a guy that would be into guys.
like fully
There's
gay.
something, yeah, totally, because it's
Just
something that's totally in
mm.
the like, just like the
Well, there's the
male body,
cowboy
like
out there
being
that's fully pushing the whole
it's
you know,
ridiculous, man. Like,
lady boy agenda.
surely, I'm
You
not
know,
saying that's a bad thing at all. I'm
he's
just going like,
basically
is it?
saying that it's
Like,
perfectly
what it is?
okay for you to, get with a lady boy. It's not gay.
Hmm. So,
I think it just all boils down to preference, whatever you prefer,
it
whatever you're
does.
into.
Yeah, and you could be, and you can construct being into whatever you want.
Mm, mm. Whether it be,
And people, and now that's might
being a
be that's going to be
furry
like,
or being
well,
whatever. Mm,
no, like I've like I've studied this
mm.
like directly on myself as the study candidate. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Which is the best way to do it.
It is. It's
Mm, mm.
respectful to
Don't
the Gen Pop, like, yeah. Well, accept your reality unto yourself, like they call
correct.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we've spoken about that numerous times. You want to
That's
kill
the
someone,
primary. It's a
kill
primary
yourself
directory.
first, and then
That's it. Accept
see
thy
if that's
reality unto
acceptable.
thyself. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If it's not acceptable, then too bad. You're already dead, so you won't be a worry to anybody else.
Uh, that is true.
Mm,
But yeah, I think you can. No, I have tested on myself and been able to modify
mm.
my sense of attraction intentionally. It's totally possible. And without much, well, with some effort. And I mean, if you spend your life doing it, whatever you're attracted to is the thing you're attracted to.
Correct.
It's just a preference. Like, at the end of the day, and I think that that's like, and no one needs to have a fit about it. It's
Mm.
just a preference,
Just do
and
you.
that's
Is
it.
that is
It's
that probably the
all
easiest way to explain it?
well,
Just do
well. Also,
you.
no, but
Don't worry about
the
anybody else.
no,
Just do you.
no.
Mm.
Uh, the thing about everyone else is they're the same as you because they're a person with preferences. Same. Oh, do you
But
have
what
things
if
that you
what if kink
prefer?
shaming is my kink? I saw that today. I thought that was quite amusing.
Interesting.
Someone actually said that kink
Well, that's
kink
cool. No,
shaming
that's
is their
totally
kink.
cool. That's totally cool.
Mm.
So what that would mean is that you would need to we would need to establish consent that I was a person with a kink,
Yeah.
and I was agreeable to you getting off on kink shaming.
Shaming the hell out
Yeah.
of you about
So
your
because
whatever your
the way that we
particular.
resolve that is just simply with consent,
Mm,
and there'd be totally someone who would be into it just for even the humor value.
yeah.
If you were to put it out
Appreciate
there.
being shamed, you know? It's like the guy,
But
it's like the guy that wears the collar and, you know,
so
and the
so
dress
you can totally
and the has the
kink shame
leash, you know,
somebody.
and the
So
girl
this is
ashing into his mouth in
100.
a submissive kind of way because, you know,
Yeah,
she is the alpha.
wants that.
She's the
That's true.
alpha and you're just the
You're doing what
you
she
are the
wants.
omega.
She's
You are
you're
the, you
doing
know,
only what she
the
wants.
pond
You
scum
worship that. You
to which
worship.
she,
Wor-
you know, wipes her feet upon.
Worshipping.
Hmm.
You know? The thing is, like, is restoring the value of worship, and not, and that it's not a submission.
Hmm.
It's actually a different act. You know, and so it's not a punishing thing or anything like that. Like, I think that worship is like,
Accepting your place. You know, faithful and discreet slave.
here's the thing. I
You
don't think
know,
that's worship,
one
hey.
must know
That's
and
that's not
accept,
worship.
you know, being the faithful and discreet slave. Well, it is, so it's the same thing.
That is not worship. That
Okay.
it's abuse. That's what it is.
Mm.
It's a various forms of, like, yeah, depending on the
But you know,
situation.
if they're happily going along with it, and you know, they're brainwashed,
Oh, you
is
know,
that the difference between the you know what we're talking about, the
look,
brainwashing versus
the thing
the
is
acceptance of the.
straight up.
Yeah.
You can be a cult. I can be. I am a cult leader. Like, like, I've totally got the
Mm.
capacity to be a cult leader.
Well,
Right?
I'm the army of one. I'm definitely a cult leader, but I
Just
only
straight,
just serve myself.
sure, man.
Self-serving.
However,
Mm.
but like, that's a bit much responsibility. The thing is that, like, you have to have cult followers.
Mm. That are willing to
So
believe in your
yeah, and so
delusions. Mm.
there's a dynamic,
Yeah.
you know, like that there are, and so if someone is totally embedded in that story,
Mm.
then I'm not here to, like, get them out of that. I would I would
Well, I think
open a
it's be
window.
dangerous, you know,
You're
because
idiots.
sometimes they do those things because they have nothing else.
I know. And they're
Yeah.
just going to be open to something that could be even more
Mm.
hideous. What do you, that, you know, do you leave them open?
But if you
And I learned that
take
by the
away what
hard
they
way. I
believe
learned it
in,
the
you
hard
know,
way.
that leaves them in this very vulnerable and angry place, you know, where
During, like,
their
full
anger
self,
could be quite easily transferred from, you know, the things that were doing the thing to them to you. You know, transfer that anger across.
there's that.
That's
That
why I
is
never have a
powerful.
go at people and their religions and their convictions, you know. They believe what
No,
they
I
want to
just show
believe.
them that. No, what I do is when they tell me their story, I open a window, and that window just is to a place which is with less guilt or shame or whatever the thing is.
Mm.
Just says, "Oh, I agree. You mean here?" Ding, and they go, "Oh," and just a little brightness opens up. That's kind of what I offer. It's it's very minor. So I basically, I confirm them, but show them that
You affirm their
yeah, I affirm them. Yeah,
mm,
but with a modification, which is that it doesn't contain fear,
mm.
because it doesn't.
Well, I mean, most of the religions are
Come
all
on,
based
it's
their thing
really,
on
it's
fear.
just
You know, you don't do what you're told, you're going to end
mm,
up in the bad place.
bad
But
place.
if you do exactly what you're told, you'll end up in the good place.
Hmm. You want to be in the good place,
You
don't
want to
you?
be in the good place, and you're prepared to
Oh,
pay money to be in the good
money.
place.
Oh, well, more than money.
Mm. Servitude.
Mm. What are the two words you say? What are those? It's not obedience and something. It's something else. It's like silence and What is it? I can't remember.
Hmm. Faithful and discreet.
That's the words, man. That's the
Faithful
words. Faithful.
and
Yeah, that's not
discreet.
worship. That's not
Hmm.
worship. Like that's.
Faithful meaning you will worship no other, and
Mm,
discreet is that
Lord.
when I do things to you, you will not tell another.
Mm-hmm. Because that's our little story. That's what makes
Mm.
us,
Unique.
all of us. And they always look diminished. You know
Mm.
what I mean? As a result, everyone in the experience of it feels a little diminished because they have to like have received that gift.
Well, see, sometimes a slave doesn't want to not be a slave. That's
Oh no.
all they've ever known is being a
Oh
slave.
no, no.
You know.
You want to get that lock in going. It's sort of like it's like Apple or, you know, Android
Hmm.
type things. Google,
Yeah. Get your
same approach.
follower, that's believes in the product or service.
Oh, wow. And
Because really, if you break it down to the basics, that's what it is, a product or a service.
well, that's even irrelevant, I think. Like I know that people get into it.
Hmm.
You can, I mean, yeah, there is a slight, and anyone would be like, man, I'm like, yeah, but what's the most important thing? Oh, blah blah blah. If it's a product or a service, no, it's your freaking the way to contact you
Mm.
is
Mm.
ultimately it's about communication. It's not
Yeah.
about products and services. It's about communication and helping myself by helping you.
Mutual benefit
That's it. Mutual benefit.
rather than the one
Because that's all
way.
I can do. If I help myself, then it means I am helping you. Like I
Hmm.
just that's helping you is helping me. Like it's the same. So it's helping myself by helping you.
Together we can dig our way out.
Well, yeah, we can.
Hmm.
Well, that because that's the is the way. Like it's actually unification, and that going to like our own singularity as a species is the key. Of, well, of that in that regard. Like if we, if you could just accept like a sense of oneness like that, I mean, that would be trippy. I think
Hmm.
there's a whole sort of like conscious experience. Um, Even having like two or three people around. If you have two or three people who have got self-awareness all interacting, like if it was you, me, and like let's say Cam, from the ancient days,
Hmm.
like we were sitting in a room together, and just like it would trip, it would, it's the helix would go like this, just you spiral up, would become
Hmm.
hyper
Hmm.
aware like very quickly. And and from that space and like current knowledge is like it just do some very interesting things very quickly,
True.
as well. So I mean,
Well, it's
if
all
you
part
had
of the
like the whole of this,
learnings.
yeah, if you had the
Hmm.
whole species doing that shit, like, hmm, you could hack the simulation, surely.
Most definitely hack the simulation.
And I'd say hack the simulation when you break out.
Learn the principle of
Mm,
what the simulation is truly about and
mm,
why it exists in the first place.
indeed. Making agreements from beyond.
It always takes three or more. Can't do it with two. Can't do it
Yeah,
by
well,
yourself. I mean, two you can sort of get close to what you need
yeah,
to
yeah.
do, but
Yeah,
three,
but it gets a
the
bit
three
obsessive. It kind of
when
gets twisted with two.
mm,
That's why that
You
marriage
need the
thing is good
third
too.
to
Yeah, it gets warped. Yeah,
the bouncing value.
yeah. 1 and -1.
Yeah.
And then you have 0 in the middle.
Mm.
Or 0 not in the middle. You just and then not choose the not space. 1 -1 not. I would really like to see 0 removed from the number line. Like I'm not sure. Like I'd like to go and speak to like maybe like a mathematician or something like that, and even a physicist,
Hmm.
and probably a physicist because that's where it really matters. And
Well, I mean,
saying,
prior to a certain time, there was no zero. Zero didn't exist. Zero was created to
yeah, I realize when
have the
the
difference
human
between the
concept
positive
of
and the negative. It's why the
yeah,
zero
but
was
it was
created.
yeah, but
Hmm.
it's not
It was the
the way it's been
transition from the
implemented.
negative to the positive.
Yeah, it's transitioned to being on the number line like
Hmm.
this. It's a state, but it doesn't make any sense. Like to be there, it actually messes with the number line.
Hmm.
Like, which I've talked about. I don't know if we've talked about it online though, but
Quite a
like
bit,
yeah,
extensively. Yeah.
because you go from like 1 to say if you go from like 1 to 2 is a whole number, like
Yeah. Hmm.
one unit. And so
Exactly.
if you go from 1 to -1, that's a whole unit
Yeah. It doesn't
because you're
really
going
need the
down 1.
zero because
No, well,
zero
no,
is the
no, the
nothing.
0 make
Hmm.
well because the 0 creates
Separators. It's a
two
separator.
jumps.
Hmm.
It creates 2 jumps to go 1 space. It
Yeah.
doesn't isn't correct, and because then the distance between 2 and then -2 is 2. Like,
Yeah.
like it's not 3. Like
Hmm.
that's stupid.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So um it's just
Well, the
one
difference between
negative
2 and
one.
-2 is 4.
Indeed.
Hmm.
Oh,
The randomness
this
of
is
the
with
flashing of the
no, but
stars.
that's with the
Hmm.
0. That's because 0's in the way. Get the fuck out of the way, 0. And so I think that would actually have this fundamental change in our mathematical system if
Hmm.
you remove 0
Hmm.
from the number line and you just went 1 -1 2 -2 3
Give us
-3.
access to that,
Like
the non-Euclidean
so
space,
1
you know.
-1 is 2.
That's it.
Yeah.
Where we could have inward curved universes rather than sitting in a box.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. What will? Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the answer. And I spent like as part of that theorem is like spending.
Hmm.
I don't even
I
know
think
how long it
that's our
was. Maybe
problem as a
14
human
years
species is
of my
we
life
need to
thinking
have
about it.
things to be quantifiable. Our desire to
Well,
quantify things or to
but
count.
do you know what that means?
Hmm.
I'm just going to say, like I say, it's so real. Like, so quantify means to take an infinity
Hmm.
and make it finite.
Give it
Like
a
it's to
value.
quantify
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's like you take these 2 points in nothing, and then you go, oh, let's divide it up in 10 spaces, and you go,
Hmm.
otherwise there's infinite. It's like there's
Yeah.
no. So yeah, that's the quantification.
Everything is here and now.
The quantification. Here to the power of now.
Everything is the same moment in time. But what you call different moments is just the same moment from different
Instances.
points of view.
Instances. Yeah. Moving through them is interesting.
Mm.
The thing that I always would warn anyone who is attempting such translocation is that you, you can't go back. So there's no back button. There's no.
Well,
So
that
it
is the
can only go
curse of
forward.
the
Mm. So you have to go
you
forward
know
back to here. How do you do that? Like that's very complex. So you can
the
translocate.
corporeal existence. Yeah, corporeal existence only exists
No,
one
totally.
direction.
Mm.
which is forward.
Mm.
Non-corporeal exists outside the corporeal and therefore exists in
Yeah,
all
well, you
time.
see the whole space, and then so you can
Mm.
get amusement watching since you're being moved through by. So it's like imagine like you're like all the thing, and then to feel yourself, you set up these like little paths through, and then you send little bits of yourself down. Oh,
Mm.
oh, that was a life.
Yep.
Mm. Jeez, I felt that.
Mm.
That was trippy. You know, it goes from like your sort of whatever four-dimensional sort of head to your four-dimensional toe. You know, it sort of gives you like an outline of your body. It's like a little sending out a little sonar of awareness. Do I exist? You know, what are my boundaries? Sends out whole lives in all directions all at once.
Yep. The everythings.
Mm. Huh. I had a really interesting walk today. Hey, yeah, most of which is sort of non-disclosable in a sort of a streamable, onlineable sense. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Lest we do the
just
doxing, which we do not wish to do.
no, and but yeah, it was a good walk, and you know, a good talk with the youngling,
Mm.
and you know, about a whole range of topics and moving forward and what it means, and you know, some simple things is one is this like it don't matter how smart you are.
Mm.
Like I'm super smart. However, at some point, you will need to have the person telling you the thing tell you twice. Not because you're getting old or something, just because it's complex.
Mm.
And so people who struggle to understand something and so therefore learn how to listen a few times, etc., and have to practice. When it gets hard, they've learned that. Where if you're smart, you don't learn that because you learn to just like barely pay attention and do no homework or do nothing and then just get all the things right, you know.
Yeah.
But then you get to a point where actually you have to pay attention and you have to do your fucking homework. And if you haven't developed the skill, you start to fumble, you know. So being too smart actually comes with a little bit of a trickery there. And so it was a very clear with the youngling about like this is not the first time the youngling has heard this, but I was just super reinforcing like this is, you know, you're going into high school,
Yeah.
and it won't
Things
be
the
like
things
this
need
year
to be
you won't
known.
have to.
Yeah.
This year you won't have to do it. However, by the time you do have to do it, you have to start now,
Mm.
putting
Mm.
in a little bit of effort
That's it.
and paying attention
Yep.
and doing some homework so you've got the skills that when you're actually doing something complex in freaking physics and quantum whatever, who knows, that they're
Yeah.
teaching you in
Whatever
grade
you
11.
decide to do in the future.
Well, it would be quantum.
Mm.
Yeah, it's other things, but then you've got the behavior to be able to even
To
engage
cope.
the knowledge
Cope with it.
to
Yeah.
cope to cope, man. Like, yeah,
Coping mechanisms.
do it. So that's one general thing I would certainly share, and you know, which we communicated, and then it's interesting.
Well, all you can do is try and pass on the knowledges to
Hmm.
your iteration
Well, this was also I
or
was just actually
iterations, depending on how many you have. Yeah.
very frank. I was
Mm.
just like a few things. One was like about myself. So yeah, talking about my own story. It was like yeah, one thing was like I thought I'd resolved these things. You know, it surprises me that I can see you in your own way expressing them because like I thought I'd you know, but actually in myself like I haven't properly fully yet like figured out like recoding like the concept of learning. Like I haven't totally grasped that yet myself.
Well, isn't it a
To
lifetime
No, yeah,
transformation,
sure, but no,
essentially.
no, 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 no. That thing that I just explained about, like, I haven't embedded that. I'm still reprocessing my skill of learning
Mm,
to be able to do it really successfully, which I need to do to go to university, which is what I want to do,
yeah.
as you know. But
But you're still pretty keen on doing your space
no,
architecture.
that totally,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. So
Mm,
that's but yeah, with I guess with the youngling, just sort of explaining, like, yeah, I thought I'd like processed like this kind of like behavior, but I hadn't, and obviously, but at least here I am being able to explain the behavior,
mm,
the thing that you're experiencing. Like maybe it couldn't be completely healed in one generation like I hoped, but um, here's like you can get a full leg up, by this is genuinely what's
yeah.
happening,
If you're
you
willing
know.
to listen, of course.
If you're willing to listen, like,
Mm,
let's
mm,
like make a half step, like,
yeah.
because I learnt this,
Well, I mean, all our parents tried to do for us was make it easier.
mm, mm.
All right, by passing down their
Oh, I
knowledge
know,
to us, they endeavored to make our path a little
yeah,
easier.
but they
And
just were frustrated and not knowing how to teach and just started teaching in really warped ways,
mm,
like, and whatever, like, just didn't have the skill set. Like, I'm actually, like, you and me, like, we're actually pretty good teachers. Like, but we're not specially like special in that way.
no,
Maybe we are a bit more so than others, but we are. We do both. We're both into that.
mm.
So,
We want people
informing.
to progress. We don't want them to
Yeah.
digress. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Ultimate goal is for them to progress and them to gain more knowledge in their the direction that they wish to head,
Be themselves. Yeah.
in being the thing that is themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Rapidly
The
comfortable at that.
singularity which is them.
Mm. What's I think I need to. I'm not sure what the time is, but I think I need to do a intermission moment and go and see if I can rustle up a small bit of food. Nothing like a half an hour break. Just like
No, no, no. Go for it,
I've
son.
pre-cooked a few
All good.
things,
All good.
so I'm gonna go off screen.
Well, average view duration is 18 seconds, which is excellent. We're actually
Awesome.
getting an increase
We're
in
getting a we're
at
getting a
2
view
views
duration
so
at
far.
all.
Oh, the so I was going to tell you
Hmm.
that video we did on the whole size to this crazy thing. I'm going to
I'm doing an audio.
that's all
What's my
right.
avatar doing?
I'm going to put you into a visible mode while you're ventiling,
Okay,
doing having a venti moment.
I am.
But yes, out of
Move that. I'm gonna
the
go.
news, what was it? Boomers failed push for Gen Z to pay no tax is now
Mm-hmm.
up to 370 views.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the highest viewed other than the rabbit duck rabbit thing. But the other second highest one was the work outfit mistakes you need to avoid.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm. Fashion.
And over on over on assumed,
Mm.
there's also a
Is there a parallel in that same?
but of course it's a very new channel and it's got
Yeah, obviously
so
just
very small
starting to
version of the,
get exposure. Yeah.
but you can see the same trend,
Mm.
just in teensy version of it.
Well, there you go. Like if you needed to get the hits,
Mm.
then you'd probably concentrate on the current thing,
Mm.
which is quite amusing since you haven't seen it yet, but the latest South Park.
I actually have, eh?
Oh, you did get to watch it?
Not the whole thing.
Okay, but
I've
you've
watched
seen
like the highlights on
the highlights of some of it. Yeah.
mm,
Cred,
like the whole
getting
cred.
cred, mate.
So mainly online, it's cred, not the
Hmm.
OnlyFans. Like the OnlyFans is sort of only
Yeah,
intonated.
yeah, that was quite funny. Oh, Randy versus his wife. His wife obviously doing heaps better than he did. Tiny little pathetic penis.
Oh man,
Hmm.
if only the. I'm back. I'm back in front of the computer, by the way.
Hmm. I'll pop you back up. Hang on. But talking about tiny little pathetic penises,
Hmm.
some of the Twitch streamers, male Twitch streamers, have taken up the black bar. So they're
Black
sitting,
bar. What's that?
the thing I sent you with the two girls with the
Oh yeah.
bar across the boobs and a bar across the privates. Some of the male Twitch streamers have done the same thing, but just got the bar across the privates, and was fully playing with
And,
himself,
and how? What?
but with the black bar across, so you couldn't see the actual
Are you
action.
serious?
Yeah, it was on. It was on X.
Wow.
People were posting it on X
Hmm.
about the whole black bar
And
Twitch thing going on.
did he and what is the deal? Like you get your name basically across their dick for $50 while they're jacking off.
I,
Is that the deal?
well, I think
Is
it's
that what the
just
black
mainly
box
for the
is
shock value.
used for?
I
But
think,
is the black box? No, I thought people had words in there. I thought the
well,
black
some of
box sort
them
of
do. Some of them do. Some of them have
you could
words
pay to
across the
be.
be the black box. This advertising space available in my black box.
Wow. Yeah, the black box needs to just simply be an ad.
Mm.
Not. Oh man. What would advertise? What would advertise?
In the black box.
What kind of companies?
I don't know. It'd be people who, I mean, obviously, depending on the viewership.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have to be masturbating. Like that's not the whole.
No, no, that was just
You could
purely
just
for
be.
shock value to get the views.
Mm,
Yeah,
you could just be naked
yeah.
and just
But as long as you got that, the sensor bar, is that what we would call it? Sensor bar.
Mm, mm,
Hmm.
mm.
I mean, we don't have to worry about it. I mean, I could be complete. Look, I spoke to you last time. With our avatars, I could be completely naked and pleasuring myself as I talk, and no one would know any of the difference.
No, exactly.
Hmm. And that's the beauty of having the avatar is, the mystique.
The stick.
Is he sitting there playing with himself at this very moment while he's talking, or is he, fully clothed and sitting in his bedroom, doing the cheap? That the mystique is the thing that will allow you to wonder.
The mistake.
The mystique.
The cred.
Having cred is pretty important. What did
I
we
cut my
call cred back
cred.
in the old days? Like it was, I guess it was
Oh,
the thing, the current thing back then. Like, did you have the Coca-Cola yo-yo? With the,
mm.
did you know how to do all the tricks with the yo-yo? Did you have the, um, Casio pocket programmable calculator.
Yeah. I
mean, that's all it is. Have you got the latest phone?
hmm.
Have you got the newest fashion? You know, are you wearing the latest, baubles? You play the particular game which is in fashion. Are you subscribed to the current influencer which is giving you your you know giving you the cred?
Well,
Are you drinking the latest sports drink? Have you got the Monster in your hand? Is there a Monster in your pocket?
Monster
Hmm.
in the pocket.
Pocket monsters.
Let's see.
Well, that's cred, isn't it? Pokemon is cred. Have you got the
It's a
trading
type of cred.
cards? Have you got the?
Hmm.
I mean, and it depends on the group that you're in. Back in my day, it was, are you part of the sports group,
Yeah.
or are you part of the smart guys that sit in the library and study all day, or are you part of the, this group, or are you part of that group? And each one of those groups had their own little versions of the cred that you needed to have to be in that group, didn't you?
Yeah,
Essentially,
definitely.
you know? Or were you one of those that could move between all those groups and still have the cred within them?
Yeah, mostly.
Because that's what I always found I was. I didn't fit
That's
into
me.
any
Yeah.
one group,
No, I
but I
was
would happily move between the groups
yeah.
and,
I hung out with the
gain
music
what I
kids and the
hmm,
sort of the
gain what I needed to
rough
get where I
kids
needed to
and
be.
mm,
And see, the only bummer with that is that in doing that, in being in the group, you created permanent friendships being in that specific clicky group, right?
yes.
Permanent friendships were made.
Mm.
Whereas because
But
I moved around in between in the different groups,
yes, no.
I never had permanent friendships. I had friends,
Mm.
and then after school, those friends then went off, and the
Went
ones
to
that
their
they
clicky
hung
groups.
out with had the permanent friendships, and they continued that for the duration of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They kept in contact with those people that were in that group.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's a very good description of the experience
Hmm. Whereas
of
I
being
never
that
got
kind of
to,
person.
like, I kept in contact with them, but,
Mm.
that enduring friendship didn't stay because I wasn't part of that specific group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting how like narrow humans really are in that regard. Like
Mm.
I don't mean narrow in a bad way, like sort of
No, no.
like it's our bandwidth,
Yeah.
is capable.
They create their own bandwidth by the association.
But we have limited bandwidth.
Mm.
And the thing in cities, like that's I've said this, yeah, but like the thing in cities is like people talk about cities being rude, but it's actually that people already their bandwidth is full.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't have
Not just because
space
not
for
just
other
because,
friends. Exactly.
yeah, they've already got all their friends.
Got all
Like,
their friends. All the clicky groups are already intact or
mm,
created.
mm.
Exactly.
And so it's hard to find like the fringes of where there's like a space for that
Mm.
for you.
Mm.
It's interesting.
Yeah. But the way I looked at it is the reason I went around through the whole groups, all the different groups, is that I wasn't specifically interested in any one of those individual things, but interested in all of it. And selective parts of all of it.
Are you curious, George? Are you?
Well, always been curious, George, you know.
I'm a bit curious, George. That's for sure.
Can't be a monkey unless you're curious.
Bit of monkey business.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Monkey. Better to be a monkey than a donkey.
I don't know, man. Yeah, this is quite an interesting question.
Mm.
Would you prefer? What do you want to be, a monkey or a donkey? There's a thing. There's actually this really interesting old Greek story. I think it's Greek. Called the Golden Ass. I've read the book.
Mm.
It's this person who like becomes gets turned into a golden like an donkey. Yep. Just to move away from the word ass and make it easier to say. um, in like service of a goddess, and then it's his tribulations, in accepting his role as like
As the donkey.
as her um
As her
oh
ass.
yeah, like as a just totally a worshiper, and the things he has to go through are quite bleak actually. Like, but
to
as a donkey
prove
you
to
can
prove
imagine.
his loyalty.
I wouldn't say that
Mm.
necessarily. Like it's a little bit break his spirit, like in some ways, like break his
Mm.
pride.
Yeah.
See things differently.
To
Like
humble.
a few of those kinds of things. Mm.
Well, I think the humbling in any life is to know that it's short and don't ever think that you're a unique and beautiful snowflake because you aren't.
Mm.
I think that is the true humbling man to know that just like everybody else.
Not even everybody else. Well, unless you expand your concept of everybody. Plants are people too. Animals are people too. Objects are people too. So you start just sort of like expand out a bit, and then and then you can do that.
Hmm.
I'm just the busted nail that fell
Hmm.
down between
Hmm.
the cracks.
I am the
Tink,
ball of
tink,
snot that
tink.
sits underneath the table and the student rolled up and stuck to the bottom of the table.
Yeah. And that's my life. I'm there for 25 years, man. It's not
Yeah.
like I don't go away.
Well,
Like,
at least until someone comes along and touches the
oh,
underside of the desk and releases
oh,
me from my captivity and
it could be 20 years, man. You could be like, they
straight in the
flip that
gob.
chair over. Oh, 10 years
25,
down the track.
25-year-old snot
25.
straight in the gob.
Oh,
Aged
oh,
well, like a good bottle of wine.
like a jeez, man, that's
Snotball,
brutal.
25-year-old snotball sitting under a table waiting for someone to
Well, it
release
would be
you.
pretty dry.
Mm.
It wouldn't be a ball. It'd,
And you'd think, after a certain period of time that ants or what other,
No,
bacteria or things would have
bacteria maybe. Yeah.
evolved. Could have been a whole city inside that snot ball. In bacteria, 20, 25 years could be like,
It was
you
like
know,
a small.
20,000
Yeah.
years to a
Yeah.
bacteria. It could be a whole civilization within that snot ball, and then suddenly just devoured, single instance, by a hungry child.
What a brute! What a savage thing!
Mm,
Just tearing away
just
at a whole
destroying a
civilization.
universe, whole universe destroyed in a simple action. Desire for snot balls, crusty snot balls.
How long do you think a school plans to keep a chair or a table?
As long as it's functional, I'd
Mm.
imagine. So long as it has function and form and provides what it needs to provide, then they keep it.
I wonder if that's a metric that they look at, like if they look at sort of not just
The only
price.
time it would really be replaced is if it became obsolete.
I mean, because it does one thing, hey, you sit
Hmm.
on it.
Hmm.
So how long does it take until it can't
So
do
that
that?
one chair sits in a school, could have had a million butts sit on it. A
Is it
million
possible?
children's butts could have sat on that one chair in its lifetime.
Is it possible? Can it do it? Like, I think one of the features you'd want in a good chair like that would be something you can rock on and it didn't hurt it
Sturdy, which would be able to take
mm,
a punishment of being able to,
being rocked.
rocked and tilted and
Mm.
balanced on one leg and retain its form without being destroyed.
Yeah. And it's got a youngling is asking me unreasonable thing.
Of course, always the way. Unreasonable requests are always the. Sometimes I think younglings just ask us things to annoy. I mean, I did to my parents. I asked certain questions, extremely annoying and embarrassing to answer. I guess each generation goes through that phase, don't they? Seeing how far they can push their
A
parental
phase? What
uh,
phase? What fucking phase? It's the whole phase. That is the
push the
phase, man.
parental unit, how
That's what
far
it's
the parental
about.
unit can be pushed before it
Oh yeah, I mean,
goes
you don't have to
completely
even be pushed.
insane.
Yeah, it is interesting when they try that and you don't go insane. You're like, oh yeah, so yeah, like how, I, like saying to somebody, so there's a few ways I can handle this information that I have.
Mm,
One would be to like demonstrate that I understand
yep, have
and maybe,
comprehension.
yeah, by maybe giving examples. But those examples might be
Been
like
through
more
been
trauma.
through similar situations, so
But
therefore
those
I
examples might,
provide examples of my similar
that's one of the
situational
methods we use. Yeah,
awareness.
yeah. I said, but those things could be more traumatizing than your own
Mm,
story. So,
yeah.
like, that's something to consider, like that about that approach.
Well, we take the
Yeah.
old-fashioned, branding iron approach and as some of our parents did to us, lash out when inappropriate lines of questioning were adopted.
Yeah, I mean, and then like looking at there's a few other approaches. You don't have to do that. Like you
Mm.
can do.
Mm. Well, I would hope that each generation we go through a adjustment period where we take what was given to us from the previous generation and adjust it and make it our own, rather than just relying on passing across the however they did it.
Look, no, yeah, you do
Got to say,
evolve.
you're looking pretty buff.
It's ridiculous. It's just like I'm not. I don't. Look at this.
Super buff.
Just so buff, man. Just gonna like move my hands back and forth.
Mm-mm.
Oh, look at that. No, just do this. Well, that's a bit big. Look at me like just yeah.
Do you think it might be the jacket? Like the way that it's maybe the jacket is moving? But the jacket itself staying.
Yeah, I don't know why I
Because it wouldn't
twist.
be the skeleton. It'd be the jacket puffing
Yeah,
with
it
the
has to
arm
be.
and the elbow movement and the shoulder movement. It's the puff.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't have that jumper on, I doubt that your arms would be blowing up every time you lifted your arms up. But with the jacket, it's sort of retaining its spatial coordinates as it moves around, so it gives the illusion of the buffness.
Buffalicious. Buffalescus. Buffalo.
Because I've made some funny characters. I mean, I've got that the beach buff dude showed you on one of the previous episodes.
I was looking at these two dudes,
Mm.
like, oh man, do you know? I gotta say, like, while we've been talking, there's been moments like where, like, I've just been visually tripped out by these two faces. It's like,
Behind.
oh yeah, like they're just, it's
Should I
very
move to
hallucinogenic.
another?
And
Should I
maybe I was wondering about
maybe
that. I was
maybe
wondering, like,
maybe hang on, just give me 1 second. I'll
choose it, choose another.
choose another.
Hmm. This is really our very much a Christmas episode in a weird way. Like the other, we've had two Christmas episodes. It's kind of cool, and it'll be consistently like this.
Here's
We
the
have
other
two.
favorite that we agreed on.
Oh man, this has got so
This one was
much to
just
say.
awesome, wasn't it? Like this is Krampus Christmas Plus.
This one
Like
up the
I'll
back
just I'll
here.
I'll just disappear myself momentarily,
Yeah.
so you get to see
Oh,
the
fuck, look
Santa in
at
the
the face.
lap, squishy
Look at
Santa
this.
down below.
There's Santa.
Yeah, that's
Krampus
one.
and Santa having a
And I
hug.
don't know whether is that chicken he's got in his hand, like above the Santa's head. Has he got like a big chicken? It's a chicken or something.
It's
Quite
a
sure.
thing. It's a food.
Food
It,
item.
yeah, it's a
A food
foodish
item.
item, definitely. Was this with nuts?
I think that was with the beer and the
Yeah, look,
nuts.
the beer
Beer
and
and
yeah,
nuts. Yeah,
yeah. Look, there are nuts down there. Must be with
nuts
nuts.
down.
There's a
That's a
giant
plate of
nut.
nuts. Yeah. But yeah, that Santa face down the bottom, squished Santa
Just
face.
to make sure that Santa's in the
Mm.
image, and the Krampuses, the the cramp
The actual Krampus in the background. That's
that's the thank
that
you.
just it just
That's the thing.
absolutely captured the whole Krampus
Oh,
vibe in it.
it's way out there.
Mm.
Mm. I want to do a big call out to the thing that neither of us have really ever actually have experienced,
Mm.
and it's quite way back in our genetics that it has experienced it, and that is where winter was at its deepest, and you were so grateful that it was turning around, and you had a big feast with all your mates in the
Mm.
community, and naughty people weren't invited and shit like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like people who had like
Excluded
stolen a
because
bit
you,
of
yeah,
food or done the
the
things. They were like,
ousted
no,
ones.
yeah, the ousted ones weren't invited, and it's like, and the real
Part of
bad,
the outsiders, yeah.
hmm. And the development of like practices around like this kind of simple thing, because we're literally surviving. It's the survival of our fucking species. There's
Mm.
something that Elon Musk said in an interview in um, Italy, and maybe in other ones. Seems to be a bit of a principle he has. Or, yeah, I kind of got it. It's like, yeah, okay, birth rates are declining and all this kind of stuff.
Mm.
However, if we don't have another generation, we won't have another generation.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
guy, the interviewer, was sort of
End
like, oh,
abruptly.
but surely that's a while. That would take a long time. And he's like,
No,
no, no, actually, no, it
no,
doesn't.
not
No,
at all.
no, very quickly.
Within 2 to 3 generations, that would be
Yeah,
it. Boom.
and yeah,
Mm. Cascade failure.
yeah, totally.
No, I totally agree with that.
Mm. And there's
Mm.
this thing around like, as I've been listening to these Fall of Civilizations episodes.
Oh,
There's
yep,
quite a
yep. The
there was this
podcast you've been
concept,
listening to, yep.
yeah, yeah, there was this concept in there around the energy that civilizations are basically energy processes. Like it's about the consumption of energy, like how much the farms can sustain, and you know what I mean. It's literally calories,
Yeah.
and calories like calories in our society is well beyond that. Like the average human can consumes 8,700. Yeah, but how many calories do they consume in light bulbs and goddamn screens and
Mm-hmm.
computers and
Mm.
cars, man? It's hundreds of thousands of calories,
Well,
not
we
even
went into the
millions of
calories of plutonium. It's high
calories.
in calories.
Mm.
Massively high in calories.
You wouldn't need to
Plutonium.
eat much of that each day. You could stay fed.
They need like a 10,000th of a microgram to
Fed.
get all the
Ooh.
calories you need for the rest of your life.
Yeah. That's why people don't understand. Yeah, you don't need to eat a lot.
Mm.
It's just that eating wisely,
Mm.
Yeah, 1 millionth of a gram of plutonium, and you're sorted.
That's it.
That's your life supply.
Good. Good to
Mm-hmm.
go.
Good. uh,
So
yeah,
imagine all
yeah.
those poor fishes out
Oh,
in the
they got too many
Pacific
lives.
there
Too
that
many
were,
lives.
the Pacific was just, at one stage
Nuked
they
to
were
the fuck.
nuked to the fuck. So that they would have got like,
Mm.
1 billion lifetimes worth of calories.
Well,
Mm.
that probably just that this cause problems.
You could see how a Godzilla
Yeah,
could
maybe.
quite easily form in something like that, given
Yeah,
all
well,
those calories.
that's a lot of
Mm.
calories.
Little tiny Galapagos island lizard receives all those calories in an instant and then, hyper
Just trips out.
accelerates its growth and becomes a giant,
Like, what do
you
I
know,
do with this? And it's just like
city
the anomaly.
destroying lizard
Oh,
called
just like
Godzilla.
loses its shit. Mm.
Quite possible. I mean, the mere possibility of a spinning rock in space developing life and, you know, at the incredible speeds we speed through the universe,
Mm.
You'd think that if that was possible, then the possibility of a Godzilla appearing would be pretty much on par with that, wouldn't it?
I think so.
In the realm
What's,
of probability.
what's Godzilla appearing? Godzilla's yeah, he's an interesting thing. He's a bit probabilistic, hey? Like in some of the ones where like he evolves as he's like, because that's what's actually happening through the
The
um,
progression of the Godzilla.
mm, mm, mm.
And he actually is nuclear. He
Starts
got,
spawning
mm.
human forms. It's gonna like start
But I like
pocket
the monster, that early monster movie genre, the Mothra and the
Mothra.
Mothra.
I had like a moment
Moth
today.
hentai.
So I was like doing kind of sort of sounds, you know, and I was communicating with the magpies, and I've communicated with these ones before. I make sure I always do this bit of family,
Special,
so them, special communicating, and then making way for them, allowing them, giving them space.
special com.
Then I was at the younglings' place, and then I was sort of one was on in the garden, and I sort of made some noise, and then it popped out
Hmm?
because it was aware
Checking,
of me, and it
checking.
had food. Yeah, it had food in its mouth, and then starts hopping towards me and walking up, sort of walking. They
Wanting to share.
wanting to share.
Hmm.
I had a whole wanting to share moment.
Thought you were
Mm,
one of the brethren.
that's right.
Yep. You could see,
I
like, if you did develop a reasonable communications between animals and that, how they could basically adopt you as one of their own,
oh for sure.
and then your necessity to hunt and gather would be superseded by their ability to hunt and gather for you.
Well, I don't see that.
Emulate the baby
No.
bird sounds, and then they would
Oh,
have a desire to come and vomit in your mouth.
well, that's a bit cuckoo though, isn't it? It's a bit.
It is a bit cuckoo, you know.
I think. I think surely the objective is to sort of learn from them and be able to sort of, you know.
I found out the storm birds were currawong was
Oh,
comes
really?
down from Papua New Guinea. They are of the cuckoo family.
The Currawong is.
Yeah, yeah, they actually lay their eggs in other birds' nests, similar to the cuckoo,
Oh, wow.
and rely
I
on
didn't know that.
other birds to raise their young.
I like the Currawong. Do you have them there?
Yeah, we get them quite a bit. Obviously,
Really?
living very close to the park.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, they're always
What? They're all black with a bit
singing.
of white.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
mean?
and the
Yeah. Right.
red eyes. Yeah,
Yeah.
fully red eyes.
That's my favorite bird. I think in Australia. I really like them.
But yeah, they migrate from
It's
uh
not even an Australian bird.
no, it's Papua New Guinea,
Huh.
PNG. They fly down when it's too hot.
It's time.
Yeah, down to where it's a bit cooler. Fly back up.
After
Quite
setting up some
quite
nurseries.
interesting. Yeah, and then yeah, dropping eggs off in the nests for the other birds to raise young. That's quite
Hmm.
interesting. 'Cause I didn't even realize that, and then I went, oh okay, and then I looked it up and I'm like, oh shit, they are. They're like the cuckoo. They're in the cuckoo family.
Hmm.
See, learning something new every day. Never stop learning. That's the key, isn't it? Stop learning,
Mm.
then you stop living.
Well, that's true. That is 100% true. That's actually what happens.
Hmm.
No, that woke me up about it.
The desire to learn runs out around the same time the desire
Yeah.
to live does.
And you've got to create then the opportunities to continue to learn. Like, if you start to narrow your story, you will run out. Like,
Hmm.
you've gone into sort of a finite loop instead of like it's like into a declining loop as opposed to an expanding loop of information and possibility. Mm. Which one?
Hmm.
It's
I
probably the
always
three in
desire to learn.
foundation.
Hmm.
It's probably the three in foundation, like Brother Dawn, Brother Day, Brother Dusk.
Hmm.
Just going to take this. You need all three to have the knowledge,
Be
the
the one.
wisdom, and the ability.
Three
Yeah,
into the one.
that's right. Makes sense, as is expected. Some to the dog.
Oh, sharing. I must say, I am a little bit unhappy about the lack of flower support. Having to rely on alcohol only. It's a bit of a bummer.
Oh, really?
Well, situation L financial.
Oh, brutal.
Your Fenty moment is like you inserting your hand directly into my head because insertion of hand to
Wow.
character, entering the mind of M.
What about anti-animals?
Ah, that was quite interesting, wasn't it?
Mm.
The whole fentanyl in the water supply and the reason the animals are having trouble flying and walking and doing weird shit in the US. Totally related on fentanyl in the water supplies.
Was some
Fentanyl boxes.
that was sad, eh?
Mm, mm.
No fox.
Ripping balls. Poor little fella.
Mm. But it's real, hey.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, they were doing samples of the fishes and stuff in the waterways in
Oh, it's
America.
like
And
Teflon.
yeah, and not only that, like cocaine shrimp.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because there's
What's
so
this?
many drugs in the waters, and then they end up, obviously going back to the water. That the fisheries department were doing sampling on the shrimp and other crustaceans, and finding that they had higher drug contents than the people did. So
What?
essentially, when you were
What?
pulling the shrimp out, the shrimp had like high levels of cocaine and heroin and all these other fucking drugs in them, and then you're frying it back up, so you're basically eating drugged shrimp. Shrimp actually had drugs in it because of the water that had gone, been absorbing.
That is insane.
You don't even need drugs, you just eat shrimp.
Okay.
Mm.
That is
The fish obviously at the end of the water pattern,
wow.
all the drugs that people use go out your urine, out your shit, through the
Mm.
toilet, whatever, go through the whole system and then back into the
The shrimp
waterways.
eat it all.
Mm,
But it's the amount that it's actually,
mm.
I
So
guess the
humans desire to use
cocaine and
drugs.
that they're fats, aren't they?
Mm, mm. Humans desire to use drugs. It's basically forced all the animals in the wild to also use
We'll be
drugs.
made. We'll be
Mm.
made.
Forced to
Made of
use
drugs.
drugs.
Oh,
Directly and indirectly. So you wonder why
pause.
animals and everything else are all behaving weirdly. Fucking drugs in the water.
They're
Unwillingly becoming drug addicts.
well, I remember listening to some podcasts around how, this American life around like dogs on like anxiety and antidepressants.
Mm. Yeah. And I wonder why.
But also, actually, quite recently, I was in a Woolworths waiting,
Mm.
and they
Si's having his fentanyl moment.
mm, I I will return. I'm
That's
smashing
alright.
my foot.
Alright, I'm just wondering whether I should just while you're in Fenty mode, I'll just Inviso you. Put you in Viso mode for the moment.
Mm.
Can't believe how slow it slows down. Like I've got the live up in studio, right?
Mm.
And as we're talking, right, and it's displaying, like just then, it was nearly 20 minutes behind what is actually being
Really?
broadcast. Yeah, like it's supposed to be displaying simultaneously with what we're transmitting, but I have to continuously pull the slider bar to catch back up to the real time in the studio, which is supposedly live. And it was about 20 minutes behind then.
20.
Mm.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Actually, it was funny. I was watching UAP today, Douglas UAP channel. He was talking about how he's gets regularly recognized out and about by people, like because he's been YouTubing for 10 years or more,
Mm.
something like that. but his views on his streams and his media, like it's showing him that he's getting no views whatsoever. But when he goes into public, people recognize him as if he's getting massive views.
Oh, I don't know. What's this, a trip? Just like,
Hmm.
really?
I don't know whether it was
I'm
just.
back at the camera, by the way.
Oh yeah, cool. You're back on.
Mhm.
Whether or not that's just,
Well,
which makes you wonder, whether
mm,
YouTube's playing with the numbers or not. I mean, they would,
well,
wouldn't they? It's their product. They play with the numbers all the time. Now, I've even seen some of my views go from positive to negative.
mm,
Like you've explained it as bots, but I don't think it's that. I think they nerf certain channels. They're in the practice of nerfing things. They don't want
mm.
if they don't want people to see your content, then they'll nerf it.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. So that
Well,
you get the impression that no one's looking at it, but maybe there are a lot more looking at it than you actually know.
mm, it's possible.
Hmm.
I think I think having the things categorized properly,
With the tagging,
and so forth. So it's like I think that helps.
but it's sort of like unless you play their game, you won't get seen.
Oh no, 100%,
Yeah, you don't play their little game, they'll just automatically nerf you.
100%. I mean, I've certainly heard this complaint from other persons who like subscribe to sort of conspiratorial things or other kinds of things or
Hmm.
alt histories or
I mean, they still make their money because I see advertising on channels where supposedly they don't advertise, but yet
mm,
YouTube still advertises 3 or 4 fucking ads through their
mm,
content, but
makes the
they're
money.
saying, oh, we're not making any money, or YouTube isn't paying us, or we aren't
Mm, no,
monetized, but yet there's still fucking 6 ads through the fucking
there is,
content.
hey.
Yeah, so YouTube's making fucking money, but the content provider isn't.
Well,
And that's where they're having to do the internal ads.
that's how YouTube rolls, man.
Yeah, they have to advertise people's products within their stream to
Mm.
get the money.
Which I think is like has more value in some ways. You can have it more represent your channel
Mm.
than you'll ever get out of YouTube.
Because there's a couple of channels I watch where they're low, like they don't have massive subscribers. They got a few, but they're not massive numbers. But yeah, they say, oh, I'm not monetized, and but yeah, they get a shit ton of ads placement in their content because obviously they know people watch it.
Hmm. But you can, yeah, but you're not allowed to monetize it. It's like
Mm.
how you can use certain copyright holders like allow you to
That's a
use
bit of a
music,
dirty
but
dog game if you think about it, isn't it?
well, well, no, I mean it's like it's in the same vein as like the how on YouTube like certain copyright holders in music allow you to play their things or
Mm.
um, but then you don't get money for ads if they were running on it, you know, that's the
Yeah.
thing, and they
Mm.
get the money.
Mm. That's why it's best to make your own original content. Hence why we're not playing people's music or whatever when we do the
Yeah, oh
cheapenings.
man, like when this is like completely converted into playable format,
Mm.
there's no time to be like music would just confuse the matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if anything, it's just a free flow of our thoughts that we're documenting.
Us chatting
Yeah.
as we always do.
Yep. But online for all to see.
Mm.
It'd be interesting to find out who's actually interested in what we're talking about. I mean, some parts of it, yeah, it's a
Mhm.
bit boring. It's a bit, it's
Maybe
only
our children.
only really understood by you and I. But there's other parts which are, I feel would be interesting to third parties.
Definitely. Yeah. I think the shift to its own channel will be interesting. That'll take a while, its own while to build up.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
And do that organically. I mean,
Yeah, or pretty much like we've done with our own channels.
hmm,
I mean, what am I up to now? Um,
150 or something.
something like dashboard. 154
Hmm,
subscribers now.
it's huge.
Hmm. Well, considering I only had like two or three initially,
Hmm. Yeah, I got to
and
correct my channel up. My
that's
channel
that's
has
just
been.
that's purely organic. That 154.
Hmm,
I've had some subscribe and then unsubscribe. So, but yeah, I'm not promoting and I'm not doing anything other than just creating the content.
hmm.
But yeah, it will be interesting when we get into the whole um, having some extra thoughts and ideas injected into the cheapenings. See who wants to join in the online therapy.
Hmm. Have you made any have you had any look at thing at your laptop or whatever, or how to be able to like run um, another Steam instance?
I would have to create another account, which I probably
The
would.
account's fine. No, the account's
Okay.
fine.
Hmm.
No, it's the hardware question. That's my question. Do we have the hardware to do it at your end?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got the laptops,
Well,
so locally I could have someone just log in and you because I mean I'm not while I'm using Magic Mirror, I'm not using any Steam program, so someone could actually run via the laptop or via the other PC that was given to me. Just run the instance of Steam and then execute AVAKIT and then run
hmm,
that and dial in via the additional Zoom accounts that I've got. That'd be easy enough to do. But even now, like if someone dialed into the Zoom meeting and I took the split screen, I could use that with, like I said, the um, what is it, WeCam, and then just have the WeCam animate the AVAKIT and add
Mm.
another local character on the screen. So easy enough to get the third, but as soon as we go beyond the third, then that's when we're gonna have to be a little bit more creative, I think.
Mm.
I mean, if everyone could dial in with their own computer and come in via the Zoom, I'd just display the whole Zoom thing. We all just pick a color that with a chroma key color, then just have the background there and just have the however many heads you got in pop up,
Mm-hmm.
but in the Zoom format, obviously.
Mm.
Because I've seen other channels do it that way, so they can have 10 people, and they're all just got their little heads, and then when they want to display something or show something, they just do
Mm.
everybody into the corner, left or right side of the screen, and then display whatever they want to display on the rest of the screen.
Wow.
That's a cheap way of doing it, and then once you get pro enough, or you get enough money coming in via your channel, then you'd invest in something like Steam Yards or whatever. I just like the fact that we can do it for nothing. Basically, we don't have no pro studio. There's no direction, or script writers going on. It's just purely ad lib. Pretty much what we've been doing so far. I was pleased with the Anime Eye update. Like massive eyes, special horns. My horns. Krampus. Pretty cool. I think I need to do more like character play with the AI stuff. Might do that with the Orion's learning. Set up little scenarios. Coming up on our hours now. Okay, Cyber.
Mm. Sorry, I blanked out for a bit there.
Hitting the wall.
Oh, I think it's blanked out briefly, as I do sometimes.
Deep thought mode.
Mm. Oh no, I don't think I was in any deep thought, man. I was in deep.
Deep sleep mode. Well, we've gotten used to that now. The
That's right.
sleepy mode
Mm.
in the chat.
I was
No,
during my
no, it's
life.
I think a lot to do with my voice, my special AMSR voice going on.
Are you doing the Asthma
Uh,
on me? It's putting me to sleep.
special sleeping
Just not
technique.
off.
Special cyber.
Mm.
talking in that monotone, which doesn't change.
Mm. So
Yep.
so Christmas, you're gonna go down to Mars.
Yeah, heading down to the coast for the
Yeah.
orphan gathering
And
of
then
the
and
old age
Marnie and
orphans. Yeah,
so forth, others, sister,
family gatherings.
sister doing own thing,
Mm. No, no, no.
boycotting down.
All going down. That's
Yeah.
it. Family gathering. Expecting to lose my voice in the karaoke because we have a bit of karaoke and we get the the death metal singing going on, disturbing the neighborhood.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I was awesome last year before. It's like I yelled so loudly and so long that I just completely lost my voice the next day. Like I could hardly talk. Vocal cords wrecked from the. Wah! Ah! Wah! Ah!
I reckon this one in the middle would make that sound. And his
Special
head would
cat
shake.
noise. It sounds like a cat noise, when they make a bird callings.
Imagine his head just shaking up and teeth. Bit of spittle.
Oh, the Krampus.
Mm.
Sounds of beer. Beer inspiring noises coming from the Krampusings. Knocking on the doors, demanding entry. The occupants telling the Krampus why he doesn't need to come in. Telling him to move on to the next house because there's no one here that needs their feet whipped. We've all been good, very good this year.
Mm.
Hmm. I guess, like if you think about it, the Krampus itself sort of it relates to that whole blood on the doorway thing, doesn't it? Please pass by the house, do not kill our firstborn son.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm.
We have provided the
Deliverance.
markings on the doorway so that you do not enter. So the Krampus sees the markings and goes, I respect the lamb's blood on the doorways. I will not enter this house. Take the firstborn. Being one of the mythical beasts, invisible
Mm.
mythical beasts.
That's amazing.
Hmm. I mean, there's lots of parallels to it. Each nation has their own variety of that version of the thing. And they all have their own different way of nullifying its ability to take the naughty. Um, one of the things was the ring of King Solomon. One thing that I learnt recently. King Solomon had a very special ring.
I did.
Mm. The names and engravings and special patterns and design on it to control the special friends,
Mm.
special friend control, and commanding of special friends, helping of building temple and stuff. And it was interesting that one of the names on there was Jehovah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Very interesting. Coming?
Mm.
Turn of the bear.
Mm.
Come on, Mr. Bear. Had enough outsidings. Real. What? Not going to attack me again, are you? Going early, crazy cat. And the fan down for you. What? Oh, smooching. Okay. So, catch me something?
Mm.
Catch me something?
Mm.
Recently. Bring home dad gifts. Giving head and stomach. After consuming gift. Gifting lately. Things. But yes, it was interesting finding out those special facts. That Jehovah was one of the names on the ring command. Certainly sparked my interest, being one of the X's.
Mm. Interesting.
And the design, star design, which was the interesting thing. Two triangles, one pointing up, one pointing down, overlapping each other.
Mm.
Six-pointed star.
Wow. Stars just can point it up. Just well, stars stimulate their surrounds in a
And the
logarithmic,
questioning
in
that
a
was
square
involved.
rooted
Oh,
way.
you know, the whole which star sign do you lie under?
Mm.
What is the name of the angel here to boy?
Mm. Um,
And your name. What is your name? Which name was given to you
oh,
so that I may command you under that name?
I was going to say, and then you said that, and I realized I shouldn't say that.
Mm,
So that would be, leaving tools around for people to use.
mm.
Mm.
What beeth that name that may be commanded by? And oh, what's your special skill? That's the thing. The last question is,
Mm.
what do you do? What's your special skill? Is it manipulation of the rock?
Mm.
Manipulation of the water?
Mm,
Relation of the fire or
mhm,
the air. What
mm,
do you bring to the party?
mm,
Very interesting.
mm.
Because that's what it's about, isn't it? And to build
Not very
things,
much.
to make things happen, to have special friends to help you. Can't do it alone. Take your
Mm.
life, several lifetimes if you had to do it alone. Got the special friends.
Well,
Could build pyramids in a day.
mm, well, yeah, look, I mean, amazing level of society. Just so epic. I guess like that whole area like was probably a bit um uh, feast and famine.
Mm. And the cycles of the feast and the famine,
Mm,
knowing when they were coming up,
that's right.
preempted.
And then things happen sometimes. What do you think? Like it was interesting listening to some of the one of the things. It's like if you have to use the past to sort of plan for the future.
Mm.
So what would we do with a with like a 30-year drought, 30, 40 year drought? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, depends on which perspective you look. If you're filthy rich, have the stores to be able to last at 30, 50, 100 years, wouldn't you? Tucked all that
Mm,
away. And
mm,
you'd be cycling it until such event happened. Damn the rest of them.
mm,
Let them eat themselves. The crabs eat
mm,
the crabs.
mm.
Hmm.
Well, soldiers in swarms
Hmm.
picking at each other with their little transparent blue ray claw.
And it basically boiled down to the survival of the fittest, strongest. But I guess in that situation, you'd want to know, um, when you select your crew,
Mm,
you'd want to know they were loyal to you ultimately. Because, you might have all the money and all the
mm,
stuff, but I mean, if someone in your crew is decided, shit, man, a lot smarter than you,
mm,
and I'm a lot more powerful than you, I'll just take what you've got. So there'd have to be some way of keeping loyalty, wouldn't? Because you'd want to know your crew is loyal. wouldn't you?
Mm.
Otherwise, all that hard work and gathering stuff is worth jack shit. Number one decides, or your number two decides they want to be number one. Guess that's readable. You may have the resources and the facilities to last through a 30 famine, but how loyal are the ones that under yourself with being in? Are they willing to fight for you? Take care of you in your hour of need?
Mm.
I think we need Krampus picture change. It's a gentle reminder. Gentle. This is another good one. Special friend behind, coming out of the hand.
Oh, wow. What a unit.
Absolutely. Almost appearing from the beer.
Almost.
Manifesting.
Yeah. Really, tonight will be the last time I have the wine, so I don't fall asleep so easily.
Your imbibing is causing the crashing effect.
Mm. Fundamentally, I mean, it doesn't need to be that much.
Mm. What have I had so far? I've had 3 Summersbys. I'm not a big drinker. Like I've never really been a big drinker unless I wanted to drink. I do appreciate the flowers a lot more. I do appreciate the drink. Flowers give me a lot more. It does. But interesting thinking about those things.
Mm.
It's all part of the Orion's learnings, catching up. I mean, I didn't go to no special school for advanced learnings on those particular matters, but it's nice to learn them as I'm going along. It has been a bit of an eye opener because I didn't realise that the organisation I was attached to initially was on that. You know, the name of the Almighty was on that ring. That certainly was a bit of an eye opener, knowing that King Solomon had the name of that organisation's deity on the ring. Sort of sheds a whole new light on it, doesn't it? I wonder whether Charles Taze Russell knew about it, hence the selection of the deity's name. because being relatively new as far as an organization goes. Modernized religion, but perhaps maybe not so modern after all.
Mm.
Name was already in use. Perhaps strategically named. Perhaps. Under the protection of such diet.
Mm. Mm.
I don't know, just thoughts.
Mm.
You know us, Si.
Interesting
Always been
thoughts.
pushing the frontiers best we could. I mean, that was one thing I guess that we had plenty of, and that's the ability to question.
Mm-hmm.
They may be just smart enough to run the machines, but not know why. But we shall ask the questions that need to be asked. We know how to use the machines. We're a little bit smarter than the ones that don't know
Mm-hmm.
why they're using the machine. Or at least inquisitive enough, you know. For a slave only knows true freedom when it questions the master,
Mm.
does it not?
Mm. Slave only knows true freedom.
When it
Mm.
questions why it's a slave.
Well, yeah,
Mm.
when it becomes its own master.
Takes the whip and is prepared to whip itself
Mm.
into the mastery.
Yeah, I just need to be flogged for another two weeks, sir, and then I'll be all right.
Mm.
You know, keeps track.
Penance. Penance or eye opening? It's a question. Do you whip yourself because you feel sorry for what you've done? Do you whip yourself to release yourself from what you've done?
I think release, isn't it?
I think so.
Absolve yourself of your own sin.
Mm. Mm. You don't need someone else to pay for your sins. You pay for them in your renting of the flesh.
Mm. Wow, man.
So, but I
Wow.
think you're just about ready to pass out, aren't you? Like it's
Sometimes
11ish,
it is
venturing towards 11ish.
very much
Well, I
so.
hope
It's
people appreciate the effort we're
I
doing
wish
in
I wish I had more to say.
explorations. No, 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 it's cool. I've been getting a lot off my chest. Like I said, both our
Mm.
chit chat and a little
Mm.
bit of therapy, weekly therapy.
All the bits.
All the bits.
Mm.
I'm happy to share my knowledge with others.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Never been one to hide knowledge. Make
I
it a
mean,
cult. Make
Christmas,
it a cult out of it. I'd rather it to be open and alternate.
this time of year was always traumatic. Doesn't have to be now.
No. Cool.
It's interesting. When did everyone sort of make the decision to have Christmas?
Well, I mean, make Christmas pagan again is my slogan.
Hmm.
Get back to the origins of the reason why Christmas exists.
Exactly.
Winter solstice
Makes sense.
in the northern hemisphere, summer solstice in the southern hemisphere.
Mm.
Truly, I mean, apart from the mining, shiny whores trinkets, um, farming was the basis of all life, really. Farming, and prior to that, the hunting and the gatherings.
Well, alongside,
Mm,
like some people got into the farming and some people got into the just kept gathering, and we're like, yeah, no.
mm.
The battle between the nomadic.
Gathering and hunting only works a certain amount of time, and then you run out of your product. But the farming is natural progression from the hunting and the gatherings.
Yeah, you try and take control
Mm,
of the
mm. Where you
delivery of the food.
know the food is available rather than going off to hopefully something's going to be available because you haven't out hunted it into
No, exactly.
extinction. That's what the hunting
Yeah,
does, is it
that's right.
makes things extinct.
There's only so many pairs of
Whereas the
Supreme
farming is
shoes.
the, you know, prolonged usage of the product in a controlled method.
Hmm,
Valuable
strange.
learnings.
Very strange learnings. Oh yeah. It's been full on. It's been interesting. It's
Mm,
been good doing this.
yeah, yeah.
I've learned a lot, I think. I mean, I'm
Definite progression
pretty
happening.
grateful.
Mm,
Pretty grateful. This is pretty good quality. It's pretty fun. I'm surprised I'm using my original jacket. I didn't realize I was doing that. It was barely on the screen. It could barely fit on the screen. I don't know how big we were or
mm,
what weirdness I was doing. But yeah, 2024, eh?
mm. New year.
It's
Embrace it as if you would embrace a brother or sister. Year of the Dragon.
is it?
Yeah. Year of the Chinese Dragon.
Well, that says a lot. I was just wondering what it was. Well, that's very positive year for me. Yeah, that's very good. I'm so very supportive of the Year of the Dragon.
I also supportive of Year of the Dragon.
Mm. Yeah, I can get some stuff done.
Mm.
That's good.
Get the claws out.
Yeah.
Breathe a bit of fire. Or a bit of acid or smoke. Whatever kind of dragon you are.
Yeah, acid indeed. Squirting hallucinogens all over everybody. That'd be a kind of cool dragon.
Acid Dragon. Tripping balls. Acid Dragon.
That's it. It's very concentrated. People like just have massive trips, like instant trips, like within minutes.
Just a tiny little speck lands on the skin, and then they're exposed to the infinite universe. Get to see them DMT aliens again. Special friends. Those that await side reality.
Mm.
Well, I think on that note, we might call it. Reckon.
I reckon.
Yep.
Yeah, we started 8. Yeah, it's nearly 3.5 hours for us.
That's it. That's good output. Sure, some people find interesting saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'll speed it all up and I'll chop it all out. It was interesting. The first one of the VRs was like episode 1,
The sync
season 2.
difference.
Well, it was
The
stretchy
stretch the
though.
stretch tape.
Yeah, it was stretchy, man. Like you can't line it up. It doesn't line up.
We
Like
need
wherever you.
TC, don't we? We need time code to lock it together. You'd think that it would have time code, but it's weird how one recording versus the other recording, like they're the same thing happening at the same time, but there's stretch. There you go. So time isn't exactly consistent. It's variable. Just in that simple VR experiment. Shows you that time is variable. It's not consistent. But I mean, you think about Einstein's principle. Further you travel away from the observer as the second observer, and the faster you travel away, faster the observer one's life disappears, or your life seems to be normal pace. But by the time you travel at light speed out to Alpha Centauri and back again, several generations have disappeared on Earth. And you're, in Earth time, thousands of years old, but still, 30, 40, 50 years old in your own experience. Your answer to longevity. Travel at light speed away from the observer.
Wow.
Live forever. Well, not really. I mean, because you're only, going to live your life, your corporeal time frame. But to everyone else, live thousands of years. Something to think about.
It is. It's very interesting. I am. Wow.
And on that note, we will bid you YouTubers adieu.
Yeah, I'd have a
wonderful whatever it is you celebrate.
yeah. Be excellent to each other.
Most definitely be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes.
Party on, dudes and dudettes and whatever choose to be recognized as.
Oh, you're claiming the word, dude. for limited use,
Contextual.
contextual limited uses. I understand. All right.
Stream ending.
Stream ending.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
If you decided to watch the whole thing, start to finish. Listen
Promise
to
I'll compress it.
our virtual AMSR voices lulling you into that deep, wonderful, dreamy sleep.
Oh. Luring me into the land of sleep. It's terrible. I actually noticed that, you know. I noticed like when I'm editing, particularly for myself, that I get quieter over the episode.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I need to actually have some kind of filter which applies like over time, you know, and makes me louder. Because by the end I'm barely speaking.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I
so
keep pretty good
interesting.
levels, but
You actually do keep very good levels. I do not. I go like it's pretty obvious. Hey, it's really weird. It's funny.
all right.
Oh my
Stream
gosh.
is ended. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's just check and make sure it's finished on the. Cool. Awesome, Cyber.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's fair. I was thinking I was falling asleep a bit early, but
No,
I
just
actually walked.
just at
I
the
had a
right
huge
time.
walk today, 13 Ks,
So that
and
was 2 hours 35 minutes in total.
that'll be like a 1 hour, and I
Yeah,
reckon
once it compresses down, because we did have a lot of
I was silent.
silent spaces.
Not in the beginning. We were doing okay, and then I just fell
No,
apart.
no, it was good, but yeah, probably about 1.5 hours into it, I noticed your deceleration.
Yeah, yeah. My eyes. Yeah, I'm just nodding off.
Because I could see you, because you kept doing the winking. I know when you're starting to get sleepy because your character does a lot of winking, like blinking with one eye. I'm like,
Oh, right.
he's
Yeah.
giving me the indicator. See the character responding to Sai's blinking eyes and shutting of eyes.
Can't even. Yeah. The character can't stay awake.
Mm.
It's falling all over the place. It's pretty funny. Yeah, where did I put my? Huh.
All right, I'm gonna stop the recording.